Good evening, everybody. It's Thursday night. Welcome to ExtraTyne with myself, Roger Banks, and the lovely, she's over that side, and the lovely Laura. Good evening, Laura. How are you?
Hello, I'm all right, thanks.
I know you've just been invaded by your dad. He's just decided. There he is, sneaking up the stairs. There's Mal. Say hi, Mal. Despite the fact that Laura's dad lives 3 minutes away from the house, he was desperate for the toilet, so he's just gone upstairs for a wee. So,
this is why you don't give your mum and dad a key to your house.
Yeah, straight in there. Hopefully he's just there for a standy up and not a sitting down, Laura, because you don't need to deal with that on a Thursday night. Yes, it is Thursday night. Obviously, a few people have joined us today. I've just mentioned, obviously, Gateshead play tomorrow. Massive game for them. So I'm sure a lot of people who follow Newcastle will also have an eye on Gateshead. I know I definitely will be. I'm sure, Laura, you'll be following the Heat Army. Hopefully they'll get through during the game tomorrow against Charlton Athletic. Formerly the Premier. Isn't that mad? The Gateshead are playing Charlton Athletic. That is.
There was a mad stat, and I wish I'd remembered it. Something about Charlton have never won. Is it 2 FA Cup? Oh, it's pointless as even trying to remember it. There is a stat that goes in Gateshead's favour, but I can't remember what it is. Yeah. So that was absolutely pointless.
Insightful as always. That's what you get on the ExtraTyne, Laura, isn't it? That's what we always give. So yes, of course, thank you for joining us again on the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel. Remember to like and subscribe, and thanks to all those people who are joining us live, and obviously all those people who are going to join us later, maybe sitting on the toilet or maybe waiting for the festive stack in the queue at McDonald's, waiting for that, waiting for it to be delivered while you're sitting there on your phone. So thank you very much for all those people watching. Remember to like and subscribe. So, well, it's never dull on Barrack Road, unfortunately. Tuesday's game was a demonstration of, I think, everything that's bad and everything that's great about Newcastle United. Obviously, a sending off after 9 minutes was a massive kick in the teeth, but the performance of the players afterwards was absolutely outstanding. They really, really stepped up to the plate. Really impressive. And obviously, we dominated the game, I feel, or we had the upper hand, but albeit it was against a very poor Norwich side. So they were a bit of a shan team. But Laura, obviously now we face the prospect of playing Burnley in our next home game in the next series of must win games. Laura, we've got 14 games in. We haven't won. There's still a good portion of the season. Yet there's lots of positivity. Mm-hmm. Laura, is there any reason to be positive?
Yes.
After what we've seen?
As much as I don't know if it's different when you're watching on telly or when you're there, but I actually enjoyed the game. Yes, there was that blip after 9 minutes, that stupid decision by Clark. But after that, I think that that's really distraction.
I didn't know it was going to pop up like that.
No, I meant me dad behind it.
Oh.
Right, bye.
Bye, Mal. I hope you left the 50 pence on the toilet seat, mate.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, positives. I think, like you said, the team works so hard, and I think it just shows. Like, I don't mean to bring them up so soon, but I was walking back to the car with my dad, and I said, after that sending off against Bruce, it would have been so negative. It would have completely switched the game, completely defensive. And I think, like you say, we worked really hard, and we actually attempted to go and win the game instead of just thinking, shit, don't lose. We didn't sit back at all. I think we tried really hard. Now, that's what I was saying. I actually enjoyed the game, even though it was 10 against 11, a shit Norwich team. I actually enjoyed the performance by the 10 men that were on the pitch. So I came away from it like, yes, before this week, Monday night, we would have said we need 6 points. Need 6 points. Some were saying, I listened to the lads on Monday, some were saying 4. Need 4, and I would have preferred to have got the 3, so there's less pressure on Saturday, but it didn't go that way. But hopefully that on Saturday we'll get that 3, because then I do think we're in, as much as I'm trying to be positive, I do think we're in deep shit if we lose on Saturday.
Yeah, well, because if you look at the games, obviously after Saturday, in no particular order, I think we've got Liverpool, then Leicester, then Liverpool, Man City, Man United, Everton, Southampton.
Mm-hmm.
So those 6 games, they're going to be completely crucial to how things go this season. But for whether we're just mad or whether we've seen something in the players, you know, for me personally, I know I went on a bit of a rant this morning on our WhatsApp group about being positive, and you know, strange things happens in this league. Leicester City won the league, you know, not so many moons ago when they were 500-1. Yes, we haven't won for 14 games, but the improvement that we've seen in the players, I think there's need there. I don't think there's any worth in just chucking it and just saying we don't believe, because we need people in that ground who just really just will those players on.
And I do believe, I was a firm believer that that atmosphere was amazing on Tuesday, and I do believe that massively helped. So, like you say, we need a ground. We need 52,000 fans who are positive, who are spurring them on. And I think that, like, when Clark got sent off, the crowd could have turned, and they didn't. They started chanting "How's Black and White Army," and the crowd was so positive, and I think that's massively going to help. And I also think, like, when you were saying, "Oh, we're just mad" or whatever, I think we're, as much as a lot of the media and a lot of the fans don't believe this, we don't have that high expectations. We believe in the manager now, and we believe in the system, and we trust that there is something there. We've seen small improvements, and hopefully as time goes on, then that'll get more and more. And as soon as we hopefully get our first win, then it'll set the ground running and hopefully give away a bit of momentum.
Definitely. Big shout to those people who are watching live. I'll just bring Tom in there. Obviously about Clark, I think it's obviously everybody's covered it who covers Newcastle. Laura, really quickly, what's your take on how, obviously the incident itself, I think we can all agree it was pretty brainless, but what do you think about the reception that he's had, and now that the dust has settled on that horrendous moment, what do you make of it, Laura?
Yeah, I've been a bit up and down about it. I know I did tweet saying that he should get in the bin. I've seen worse tweets about it, to be honest. And I just think, yes, it was a senseless decision. It was his mistake. Then he just
compounded it.
Split second decision. What all made them like. But then I flipped it and I was like, no, he's getting paid a lot of money. That's what he's getting paid a lot of money for. That's his job. His job is to be professional and make correct decisions. So like, as long as they're not like absolute hurling abuse at the kid, I think we're all fully entitled to say he was completely stupid and he doesn't deserve his place. Like,
it's a droppable offence. It's, you know, I think context is so important in these situations. And like you say, you're a bit like torn between, well, he's you know, he's a human being. He seems like a decent lad. He took a pay cut when COVID happened. So there's a lot of things that is to really like about him. But if you purely take it on a football basis, it is completely brilliant.
Yeah, but like most people aren't calling him as a person. We're just saying in that particular incident, he was completely stupid in a big game where we needed 11 men.
Yeah, we did.
Then looking at the positives, that then Fed came back, and then we're seeing a back four that I think we all would be completely happy with.
Yeah. Do you think, obviously, just touching on the next game, do you think the back four that finished that game should start the next game?
I think they should, but I do worry that he'll bring Winless straight back in.
Yeah, I've got that fear as well. Just a couple of things, couple of comments there about, excellent performance by those 10 men that were in black and white. I did think that Alan St. Maximin maybe could have come off for Almiron a little bit earlier, just to get that work rate to start closing things down. Maybe when we're 1-0 ahead, we need all hands to the pump. And I think Alan, sometimes he's a bit afraid to sprint because of injuries and because of laziness and because of everything. And I think,
did you notice there was, I can't remember what point in the game it was, but it was a break and play, and everybody was around Howe and Tyndall and chatting and he was on the other side of the pitch. Just
really? No, I didn't notice that, Laura.
Yeah, somebody
well spotted, yes, right.
I can't take credit. Somebody behind us was like, "Look at where he is," and I looked and I was like, "Yeah, it's not a good look." Like, be over there getting instructions, like how is constantly doing, or even just getting with your teammates and discussing tactics and playing and now he was on the other side with his head down, just walking around, and it just didn't look good, and he didn't seem interested, to be honest.
I think just coming back to that positivity, I think Tom kind of hits the nail on the head for a lot of fans. I know Decker, I think he kind of feels this way, like obviously He thinks we're up shit creek, we're down, but the future still, in a weird, twisted way, does still look bright. So I think a lot of fans possibly are in that position where they think, yeah, relegation under Ashley, disaster. Relegation under Staveley, perhaps not so much of a disaster. Maybe it's a chance to clear the decks and things like that.
I think it's hard because I think a few months ago there was loads of polls on Twitter and stuff. Would you take relegation if it meant Ashley went? And everybody said yes. But then when you're in it and you're living it and the possibility is very, very, very real, it's hard not to think, oh shit, I don't really want to go down. Yes, we'll do. I believe we'll be all right. I believe that it'll be a clean slate, a fresh start, a time to rebuild. However, you don't really want to be relegated deep down.
No, yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think so. So you know, a disappointingly uplifting game, if that is even a thing, against Norwich. Obviously, this is the first part of a double header from the Gallowgateshots team. So Decker and Chris will be on a little bit later on, and they're going to do a full preview of the Burnley game. Laura and I will give you a little, you know, we'll give you the important information, and then we'll go off on some random tangent, which I'm preparing for very soon. But yeah, so I think if we kind of go into the Burnley game, obviously, I think we're both in agreement about the back four. Are there any other changes that you would make, Laura? Would you kind of keep Fraser, who obviously was the player who went off? What would you do in terms of playing Burnley, knowing how they play? A little bit more of a long game, a little bit more abrasive, a bit more aggressive. What would you expect going into the Burnley game, Laura?
What would I expect or what would I want? But two different things.
Two different things, yeah.
I've put a few. Like, I would be more than happy for that same team plus not same team. So like same back four, Fraser in, Shelby in. I would maybe, and I feel bad, but maybe drop Willock. I think he hasn't looked the player that he was, and he's had a few games to show it, and I just don't think he was up to speed. I would maybe Longstaff instead, just for that a bit more aggression. I think he has, rather than, I don't know.
What do you attribute his? You know, it seems like we've signed the wrong Willock brother here. What do you attribute? Like, the drop off has been remarkable. Is it fitness? You know, is he still playing catch up? Is it a lack of confidence? What is it about Willock? What is the problem with Willock?
I think he misses Steve Bruce. loved him, didn't he?
Maybe he does. Maybe it's him and Alan. Maybe he's just pining for Steve Bruce.
They missed that arm around the shoulder and doing what they want, and they were in charge when it was Bruce, and maybe now they're not liking the fact that they're being told what to do. No, I don't really think that. I don't know. I really don't know, but it is strange. Maybe it was just a fluke 7 games, and then that wasn't really the true Willock. I don't know. I really don't.
Yeah, I think for me, just watching his body language, he just seems like there's a very, very little confidence there. I think he's had that great run. I think he's come into the season unfit. Then he's pretty much played, not every game, but he's played a lot of games, and I think he's still playing a bit of catch up. And Eddie Howe's obviously seen something in him, and I believe there is a good player there. There's a great player there, possibly, but there was a point where he all he had to do was sprint 10, 15 yards, and he looked like an old man. He looked like his legs were gone. So and meanwhile, you've got John Joe Shelby making 60, 70-yard runs, never mind his passes. You know, like what a turnaround from John Joe Shelby.
He's so Willock's so eager to get the ball. You can see it. And sometimes that eagerness leads to stupid fouls, and he seems like he just wants the ball, so he'll just do anything to get it, like kick out, pull someone, like give silly fouls away. But then again, I'm going to contradict myself because I think Longstaff does that as well.
Yeah, I think to his credit though, I think Willock, once we went down to 10 men, I think he did step. You know, I think in that second half when it was really, we had to know our positions, we had to close down space, because obviously for all the fact that he probably picked the wrong team to start with, in my opinion, by having Clark in there. Once he made that change to a 4-3-2, I do think that midfield worked effectively. I think Willock did his job. He had a couple of little breaks with a bit of encouraging, and I think some encouraging noises behind him from the fans. I think that's all he needs, just to push him just that little bit more. I think week by week we'll get a little bit more out of him, but it needs to happen soon.
I was going to say, we haven't got that.
So,
what would you do then on Saturday, team-wise?
I would be tempted to put Hayden back in instead of Willock, just to deal with. I think somebody on the comments there has talked about, you know, the diagonals coming across. I think it was Stu there, talking about, you know, having that presence. And I think Joe Willock, for all that, what we do know the best of him is running forward, making good runs, being quite elusive and making those late runs into the box. I think we are going to need a little bit more steel, which I think Hayden can provide. I think, you know, the game could be perfect for a Hayden type that that might even push John Joe Shelby slightly even further forward, because I think the further forward Shelby gets, the more effective we are in the final third. So I think yeah, that's what I would do. I think that would be my only change. I might be tempted with Alan St. Maximum. For me, Alan's not really. He doesn't seem to be doing the doggies that he needs to be.
Loves Burnley though.
He does love Burnley. Yes, he does love Burnley. So maybe has he got 4 or 5 goals against them?
Well, I don't know about how many, but I just remember last season.
He does. Yeah, he scored. Yeah, he has. He's got a good record against them. So perhaps, you know, it's his time to shine. But I think the time for stepping up now it's upon us, and I think we need to get those. We're desperate for that win, which is a massive understatement. Massive. So after this show, the lads will give a full preview. And I suppose because Decker's on that show, a massive thank you to everybody who took part in the raffle for the Castore ball. I believe it was $2,000, over $2,000 that was raised. And congratulations to Josh. Well done, Josh McAloon. Josh McAloon. Well done, Josh. Absolutely brilliant. Hopefully that's taking pride of place on your Newcastle United shelf somewhere. Please don't let it rot in the garage, because that would be such a shame. But loads of money raised, so keep your eyes out for different things that the lads are going to be doing over the season. Hopefully just to raise a little bit more money for that wonderful cause for Decker's Uncle Fraser. So, Laura, we thought, because we're a little bit extra on ExtraTyne, as we always say, we're coming into the festive season. I'm sure, Laura, well, unless COVID's put pay to it, I'm sure, Laura, will you be having a staff night out, a staff Christmas party?
I'm not going, but they are having one.
Right. Oh.
I'm staying fresh because it's the day before ours, so I want it to be fresh. So I'm not going.
That is.
But no, originally I didn't put my name up because the Man City game was on that day, wasn't it? And then it got changed, so I just didn't then put my name down.
Right. So, wanting to always be at the cutting edge of important things in the life of Newcastle United, Laura and I have devised or come up with an excellent feature. Hopefully you can all get involved. I saw some comments on Twitter there about the 7 people at the office Christmas party, or the Newcastle Christmas party. Now, Laura's been a bit cheeky and she's added on a few extra of her own, which I'm sure she'll tell us all about. So we'd love for you to get involved with the comments. We'd love for you to get involved on Twitter as well, and we'll try and get through as many as we possibly can. So we start off with the original 7. Every office has one. Every party has one. We have the gossip, the office gossip. Who would be the office gossip at Newcastle United? We have the workaholic. We have the party animal. We have the one who's got the feel for the shots. We've also got the lightweight. Who is the person who's hunkered in the corner, spewing their guts up after a sniff of a barmaid's apron? And who is the hawk? Who's sitting in the corner just observing? We all have that friend. We all have that work colleague who just likes to sit back, maybe
observe,
and just observe. Drinks Coke. Maybe might have a glass of Prosecco. Maybe he's one, but they just want to observe. They want to see. And then what did they do the next day, Laura?
Do you remember when you did this? Can you remember when that happened? Remember when you said that? Hate them.
Little grass. And then there's a drama queen as well. So, and then Laura, you came up with some extra ones. I'd love to hear them.
Troublemaker, the ones that are always getting you into trouble. Goes missing, trapped early.
Shows up for the night out,
yes.
giving it the big one, and then after about 8 o'clock, 8:30.
Does a runner.
They're in a taxi.
I'm just going to the
Boom.
toilet, and then does
Yeah.
a runner.
Oh yes, we all have that friend.
Yes. And then you. Oh, then,
yes.
yeah.
The cheapskate. The cheapskate.
Yes,
Yeah. Who's the cheapskate? Who doesn't put their hand in their pocket and pay for their drinks? They might actually. That might. Oh, there we go. Chris has put them up there.
Thanks, Chris.
They might actually combine with the person who's the one who just can't handle it. They might, or maybe they might just be the person who's the trapdoor. It's usually them, isn't it? The trapdoor. They don't want to pay for the round, so they just do one.
Yes.
And who's always on the pull? Who's guaranteed to walk off with a boy or a girl on their arm? Who is that person? And then the last one that we just thought of just before we went live there was the hanger-on. Who's the ex-squad member who comes back and gets involved and tries to stay around with the banter, even though they've got no idea what's going on? Who is that person? So, Laura, we'll go through a couple of yours and then we'll try and get to some in the comments. So if you want to get yourself involved, I did hashtag it house party, but just add your comments. What do you think? So, Laura, the gossip.
I went with, oh, sorry.
Newcastle got a history with the mole. So
That's
is the
who
gossip?
I picked. I picked the rumour mill of who we thought the mole was, and I went with Sean Longstaff. I think he's the gossip.
Yeah.
Yes. I think he's the one on the night going and having a chat and sitting down, getting carried away with these words. And I think that about him as well. And then 2 minutes later, he's like, do you know what he said about you?
Yeah.
I definitely think he's one of them.
Loose lips, sink ships. Definitely. Someone who needs to be away on loan, possibly, but not involved. Yeah, I think a few comments. I think somebody had Fede because they think it might be Fede Fernandez was the mole. That was the rumor. Somebody said it was a non-staff. It was a non-playing member of staff. Possibly the kit man. You know, they're always involved in all the gossip. You know, they know what's going on. Always a reliable person. Let's just see who we've got. Has anybody gone for gossip on the comments? Oh, I've got a few on who just can't handle it. Freddie Gale, possibly the gossiper. Yeah, maybe he's trying to undermine things so he can get himself in there. That's a good shout, that Freddie. That's a really good shout. And a very cool second name. Costanzo. I like that. Callum Wilson dishing the dirt on his new. Ooh.
Has he got a podcast?
Stu, you know what though? Stu's got a history for bringing in some. He's got a history for bringing in some good knowledge. I'm sure I remember a few weeks ago he dropped some excellent knowledge on us. Apparently the mole might be Charnley. Maybe he's the one hanging about as well at the end. So, Laura, do we think? What do you reckon? Should we go with? I think Dwight Gill might be a good shot. Like
yes, I think yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right, workaholic. Now, I think if you'd asked this question about 6 weeks ago, I think you'd be struggling for a workaholic amongst the squad, really. Richie, obviously, that's the standard. He is. I think he's just a born workaholic, and that's what a lot of the comments have come through. But Laura, who would you have as your workaholic?
So I know I always do this when you have when you come up with a theme. What did you mean by workaholic? Because I've took it, and now the way you're talking, I think I've misjudged it. I thought you meant somebody who just can't switch off from work and who's talking about work the whole time on the night out, and it does everyone's head in. Is that what you meant?
No, but
right.
I think that's actually
yes. And I've gone with Tom Lynch's as well. I've gone with how that would be. Sitting in the corner in the booth with a whiskey or a scotch and just like making notes. And I'd definitely go with how.
Tearing the back off a
beer coaster. Yeah.
Like, look, right, this is the next drill. So you see there's you. And then like who would be next to him? Who would be like getting his ear bent? Who would be the one like,
At the minute, I think Shelby. I think he's right up Shelby's arse.
Shelby, I do think Shelby would be sitting there and he'd be like, yeah, right, okay, yeah. I think Richie's a good show for work rate, but then again, Joe Linton covering every blade of grass at the moment.
See, I don't think Joe Linton would come. I think he'd be on the missing list. I just don't think he would go to the party.
Oh, I think Joe Linton's got a party in him, like.
Really? Oh,
yeah, I think Miggy's a good show for workaholic, as in on the pitch anyway.
Oh, do you not just think Miggy would just be bouncing on the dance floor, just living
big
life?
Smile, yeah, big smile. Oh, you know what I forgot? What? Because it was a Christmas party theme.
Here, you got a hat.
Even better than that, Laura. I've got my Christmas party jacket. Hold on,
Love
let's
it.
just get that on. There we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I feel like I'm on some sort of game show.
No expense spent. Look at that. 15 quid on eBay. Who knows? Right. Anyway, right. So I feel like I'm ready to go now. Yes. So workaholic. I think Eddie Howe. I think I'm going to go Eddie Howe, and probably his team as well. Although that's probably more that he's drilled it into them. Right. Surprise. Who is the surprise party animal? Who's that one who's maybe is a bit quiet? Who you think once he gets off the leash, he's on it? What do you reckon?
I went with Mankillo. I think he's under the radar, and then just
Ooh,
all of a
yes.
sudden, just out of nowhere.
Yes.
He's just,
Like when like a Spanish, like some Spanish song comes on, like with some Spanish, and you just see him at the back of the booth. Like yes,
Justin Bieber, Despacito, and he's doing all the lyrics and that.
He's giving it that.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then the next day, everyone's like, "Yeah, did you see Monkey last night? He was loving it, wasn't he?"
Oh, he was absolutely manky, wasn't he? Yes.
Didn't expect that from Monkey.
Oh, you've taught. Mine was going to be Ryan Fraser because he comes across quite like a bit dour, like a Scotsman, typical Scotsman.
No, see, when you said Ryan Fraser, I was like, yeah, he's Scottish, he'd be Raj. I don't think that would be a surprise.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I thought it'd be a surprise party animal, but Manquillo, that's an amazing shout. Yes, of course, the Spanish vibes coming up. He's been out down the quayside having a bit of tapas during the day, and he's just nice. And by the time he gets there, he's already a bit loose and that. I think I like that one. I really like that one. Let's have a look at some of the comments. Joe Linton would be there. I reckon Dubravka secretly has no problem knocking down a few pints. Yeah, Dubravka. Yeah, I could agree with that.
I don't know. I feel he'd be a bit boring. I don't know why.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think? Yeah,
I don't know why.
possibly. Joe Linton would be the one you would dread coming, but who turns out to be a laugh. Yeah.
There's always one of them. Oh, I didn't put me next to them. I didn't want to sit next to them. And then he actually had a really good night.
Ah, yeah. There's a lot of love for the jacket. And Daryl wants to, even though Daryl's on a red eye tomorrow morning, hopefully Daryl, this won't keep you up too late, son. Right, so Dave's nearly spat his Maltesers out. Thank you very much. Ryan Taylor would supply a sick note. Ooh, Marty. Ooh, that's a burn, Marty. That's a burn. Maybe he's the nomination for a trapdoor. So, Laura, surprise party animal. I think Manquillo's absolutely nailed it. I think that is an excellent one. I really do. Now, the shot enthusiast. Who do we think just absolutely bangs the shots? I went because I think he might get a bit giddy. Is Miggy? I think Miggy might be like he might get a bit like he sees Manquillo get a bit hyper, and then he's like, "Oh yeah."
I don't think Miggy would go at the bar though. I think he'd be too busy dancing, so he'd be that one that's getting the shots off the tray girls, the shot girls.
Yes.
He'd definitely. I think he'd just be fall for that one every time they come around.
Is he getting ID'd every time?
Oh, 1,000,000%.
Yeah. He's big smile. He's like, yeah. How many do you want?
All of
them. Yes, I think so. Yeah. Richie, Daryl reckons Richie might be on the shot. I reckon whiskey chasers with every drink, and I think Craig hit the nail on the head.
That's what I wrote down.
Yeah, and in real life, Shelby hits the shots in matches. Yeah, maybe he's. Yeah, I think so.
I went Alan St. Maximum as well because he likes to give things away with the watch and stuff, doesn't he? So I think he'd be that generous, just flashing the cash.
Do you think he would be the one that would be buying stuff, but he'd be drinking club soda himself? Is he that one? Maybe there's a new category there. The one who likes to see everybody else get drunk, but likes to.
No, I think he'd be. I think he'd be on the shots, dancing in the middle, doing all the cool vibes. I think he'd be.
Yeah.
Egging Miggy on. Miggy would be trying to copy him. Like Maximum would be doing all the cool stuff, and Miggy's trying to copy him, but failing.
Yes. Would he have he'd have the same sort of gear on?
Oh, 1,000,000%, yeah.
Not to the effect of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I've just had an idea for a hanger on. I wonder if anybody in the comments can guess who it is. I've just thought about it now that you mentioned that.
I hope it's not the same as mine.
I bet. Ooh, I wonder. Let's see. So the shot enthusiast, who we're going to agree on? What do you reckon?
I think it has to be Shelby
Yeah, it's
because
got to
he
be
just
Shelby.
has a
Yeah.
shot every time he gets a ball.
I mean, Shelby's very close to turning me around to being a fan now.
I
He's
was
three or
always
four
a
games
Shelby
in,
fan.
but you know, I'm happy to admit when I'm wrong. I'm not married to my ideas, so we'll see. We'll see. Right. I've just seen a good show for the Hawkeye. We'll come on to that one in a moment. Who's the one who just can't handle it? Who's maybe 8:30 is already spewing in the toilet, or maybe he's into a fireplace like Mike Ashley. Who's the one who just can't handle his beer?
Me.
I think you can handle it, beer, Laura.
Oh no, I really can't. I went with Lewis. I think he's young. I think he's trying to show off, and I think people are going to have to look after him and put him in a taxi.
We've all been. I remember the dearly departed Cross Keys down Dunstan. It was my first ever Christmas party. First ever Christmas party with British Telecom. Respect. And I remember we're drinking. Well, everyone was drinking. I was probably about 17, 18, and they started on shorts, and I'd never drank shorts before. And the only short that I'd seen or recognised was whiskey, because my granddad used to drink it. So I was like, "Oh, I'll have a whiskey," and he was like, "Do you want it neat?" And I was like,
"What does that mean?"
And I was like, "A whiskey and coke." So he got this. "Do you want a house double?" And I was like, "Ah, yeah, house double." So I went back and I must have knocked back 5 or 6 of these, and then spewed all the way home.
Oh no!
Salt Road South. Came home, spewed. It was bad, man. It was bad.
I'm not a spewer, but I remember my first ever night out with school, who I work with now, and it was like all the teaching assistants, and we went to the Labour Club in town, and I was like saying, "Oh, I'll not get too drunk because obviously like working in a school and stuff, blah blah blah." Had to put us in a taxi. And they were like, "Right, where do you live?" And I told them where I lived, and told the taxi driver where I lived, and they shut the door. And they were like, "Let me know when you're home." And I got out the other side of the taxi thinking I was home, and I was like, "Right, I'm home." And they were like, "No," and had to put us back in it.
We've all, I think you have to go. It's a rite of passage, Laura. It's a rite of passage. So, come on then. Who do you think's the lightweight? Who just can't handle the pace? What we're going to go with?
Have I had any other shouts apart from Lewis?
I reckon if he was still, I reckon, well, one of the Longstaff brothers, I reckon.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. I think Matty. He's short. He's young.
Yeah, that could be.
He kind of take the pace. Stu agrees with you about Lewis. He's got to be, honey. Dave, I feel your pain. Not whiskey. Done me in as well. Awful, awful. I'm going to come back to Christopher, who's mentioned something about Nike, but we'll come on to that. I'm sure. Try and help us remember that. I think Lewis is a great shout. Right. He's got to be, Annie. He just can't. He'll not be able to handle it. No. He might be able to settle back into a left back role and play a full back, but getting on the high, possibly not his forte. It's right. It shouldn't be either. It shouldn't be. He's a professional athlete.
Yeah.
Not like us. So, right now, this is quite a controversial one. I'm going to go straight in with a comment about who is the Hawkeye. El Grande Salmon.
Good shout. Very much.
Yeah, I would definitely say Lascelles is.
I think he's also the one that isn't drinking as well.
Yeah, he's like, he's got like a stomach and tonic, and he's
definitely.
Yeah, and then he's straight to the manager. Yeah, I cannot see past Lascelles for that one, like the Hawkeye. I think possibly Fraser. He's a bit of a teacher's pet, possibly, and maybe he's Wilson as well. But
I went with Graham Jones. I think he's a bit of a Hawkeye reporting back.
Yeah. Because he just wants a curry favour, doesn't he? That's what he wants. That's what he wants. I think that's a great shout. I think I'm going to go with. We've got to go with the Lascelles for the Hawkeye.
Yes,
and he'll probably see it as his role as captain. That's what he'll see as his role. That's what he's got to do. Right. Who is the emotional attention drama seeking person in the squad?
I went with a couple. I had a couple, and I don't know why. And they both popped into my head. I think Shaw would be a right.
Oh yeah.
Wet arse and just whinging about his life.
Yeah.
But then but then I also went with Wilson because he's constantly whinging on the pitch. So maybe him.
Who loves the drama? I don't know. I mean, could Alan be a little bit drama, attention? He likes the attention on him. You know, could it be him? Possibly. You know, I'm not too sure. That's a difficult one. I think in the past we have had some really emotionally demonstrative players like Ginola and, you know, like those types of players. You know, but I think maybe under Bruce we might have had a few more who were a bit more like getting in the drama, but I think they're a lot more focused now. So I think Shaw's as good a choice as any, but then he might be in for the one who always pulls at the end of the night because
That's who I've got.
he is a handsome specimen. He is a handsome specimen. Let's see what anybody else says. Right, we've got Craig Bradley. It's got to be Shaw. Shelby loves the drama.
He does, yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
But I don't think he likes the attention though. He loves the drama, but I don't think he would want everybody to know his business. Because I took it to be that one that's like telling everybody about their life and crying on about all that shit.
Yeah.
And I don't think.
Shout for Dwight Gale, feeling sorry for himself, having a bit of a moan on that he's not getting into the team. He's being misused, possibly. Yeah, I think so.
The Longstaffs could be on that as well. I think they'd whinge a lot.
Yeah, could it be the gossip is linked to that one? Who's the attention-seeking drama queen? Richie.
DQ.
Oh yeah,
drama queen.
Yeah, does you know? Could Richie be the? I know I was looking at DQ. I was like, oh yeah, drama queen.
I've got Richie later on.
Oh, have you got Richie later on? Now let's just go back to a couple of comments before we go on to our. I think we've got a so our gossip. Have you? I hope you've written a note of these. I don't think I have. So our gossip that we decided was Fernandez, possibly.
I can't remember.
Oh no, it was somebody on the comments on the Twitter had Craig Hope as the gossip.
It's the gossip, yeah.
On the inside outside. And somebody's just said Richie could be all of them, to be fair. He has multiple personalities. Workaholic, Eddie Howe. Surprise party animal, Mankio. Shot enthusiast was
Shelby.
Miggy. Shelby. The one who just can't handle it.
Lewis.
It's got to be little Lewis. He's so cute, isn't he? The Hawkeye. It's got to be Lascelles, definitely. And the emotional Lascelles. And the emotional drama seeker. Take your pick. We've got Richie.
I think Gale's a shout. I think
Gale is a bit of a shout, yeah. Oh, Chris Wallace, John Joe, because it's me, Shelby. He loves that. So, lots of shouts for Richie. Now, before we go into some of the other ones, Christopher, who's one of our American viewers, he came late at the party. Is this a Big Brother squad casting or something? Yes, well, Christopher, first of all, thank you for joining us. I believe from across the pond, possibly.
Is this because of your jacket, or has he never watched the show before and seen what in my house is?
Yeah, maybe he tuned into this thinking it was going to be like an erudite discussion on tactics, formations, players. You know, it's not really generally what you get with ExtraTyne. The clue is in the name. We are a little bit extra, but I really appreciate you joining us. Now, Christopher brought up a good question, or a question that's baffled people for years about Nike and Nike. Laura?
I'm a Nike.
Are you a Nike? Yes. I go between the two, like Nike and Nike. It just depends.
You can't go between the two. You've got to choose one. You can't sit on the fence.
Laura, I'm 39-year-old. I'll do what I want. If I want to say Nike sometimes, and Nike. You know, probably because I don't know. I'm trying to just hedge me bets with it, really. But yes, anyway. But thank you, Christopher, for joining us. I think all the way from the United States. Get in touch with Shade, and you maybe get on his show. That'd be good, right, so Laura, you threw in some extra ones towards the end, and we had who is the liability? Who's the one who's going to get you in trouble?
I think it's quite obvious. I think it's Richie. I think he'd be the one going around getting everyone in a headlock and like ripping people's shirts and that.
Yes. He's answered our question. He's a young in London. Well, thank you for joining us. Who would be the trapdoor? Who's rocking up 7:30? All good intentions on the surface, but who's going to be off at the
Hendrik?
Oh yes, I think Hendrik, yeah.
Or Fed, because he went missing for a while.
Yeah, he did went missing. He did go missing. I would maybe be tempted on Alan St. Maximum. Rock up, look really good,
Do a bit moonwalk on the
do a
dance
bit of
floor.
moonwalking, because then everybody's talking about that all night, and then he can just
Sweep
slow
back home
off,
to his kids.
just go home to his kids and make some TikTok videos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe
What-
that's his vibe, possibly.
One of his wives.
I suppose it wouldn't be right if we didn't include Clark getting in trouble, getting us in trouble collectively. There's
And
a
you
few
had said
shouts.
about him leaving early as well.
Yeah, and leaving early. Yes, of course. After 9 minutes, he's in. All right, lads. Oh, I've spilt my drink on myself. I'm away. See you later. I think he'd have to make a swift exit, wouldn't he? Davey, yep, he's agreeing with Alan St. Maximum as that one who's going to leave early, who's going to trapdoor. Now, surely this has got to be difficult with all these people being multimillionaires, Laura, but who do you think the cheapskate is?
Kraft.
Ooh. Do you think he's got like a spreadsheet?
Yeah,
And
I
he's
just
like,
think he's very particular about his money, and just he's the one that won't put in the kitty because he's like, well, no, because he's drinking doubles and I'm only drinking singles.
yes. Yeah. Do you think he'd be a bit pernickety?
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
think he's a pain in the arse.
Ooh, all right. I mean, I was willing to go with pernickety, but if you want to call me a pain in the arse, Laura, that's absolutely fine. Pernickety, I don't know. That's a phrase, isn't it?
Is it? Clip it?
Yeah. It's more real than clippets. It's more real than clippets. Like, come on.
Pinicky.
Pernickety.
Pinickety.
Yeah.
Pinickety.
Yeah, pernickety.
I've never heard that in my life.
It is a real word. When you hear repeat something to yourself, and now I'm like, is it a real word? But yeah, I'm sure I'm going to stick with it. Jacob Murphy thinks he would, Stu thinks Jacob Murphy would be dipping out as well, like, to be fair. So, right.
I've just thought of one.
Go on then.
No, like a new category.
How about then? What's my new category?
Like Karen, camcorder Karen. We call one of our friends camcorder Karen because she's just like videoing, snapping, everything.
Yeah,
and it's a nightmare.
Who's recording the moment?
Yeah. I haven't got a player. I need to think of one, but I just thought of that.
I think it would be Darlow, but he would be in every picture.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "This is me and the guys. Hashtag. This is me and the training staff. Hashtag.
Lads.
Lads. I think he'd be the picture one. I think.
I don't.
So, pernickety is indeed a real word. Yes, Tom. Get in. I don't wear this jacket for now. Right. So, hold on. But then Michael said it's not. So
I'm with Michael.
Perhaps I'll take the coat off. No, I'm going to leave it on. It matches the gold colour scheme, or yellow, because this is from DHK. But
does Vicky know you own that?
Yes. Actually, we're clearing out the wardrobe, and we're selling loads of stuff, and I was like, that's right. No, I'll keep that.
Oh, wow. Yes, I'm meant to be.
Because you never know when a quiz night's coming along. I actually wore this on stage at this Stanley Learning Partnership. I hosted a quiz event for these kids at school.
Oh, my God.
It was brilliant. Anyway, enough about me. It's not about me.
Oh, it's all about Roger.
Oh, right. I've set off something about this pernickety, like.
Oh, that's not how I would spell it.
Pernickety, yeah. Anyway, so Willock is camcorder Karen. Ooh, yes, El Grande. That is a great shout. I think we've got some good ones in there. I'm going with Darlow, but I could see Willock definitely because he did like a little hello Maggie's.
I think this one's an obvious one, but I think Maximum because he just records everything.
Yeah,
loves
that is true. That is true. Who is on the pull, or who always ends up with a
think it's
a
just
lady on his arm?
It's got to be Shaw, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's got to be on it.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's many women and men.
Who do you think is just behind Shaw getting his cast off?
Ooh, that's a killer. That one. Who is looking up to him a little bit? Do we reckon? I don't think Darlow, because I think Darlow can probably.
No, he can pull on his own.
He can probably pull off his own bat.
Yeah.
I think maybe as well. Who's a poacher? Wilson. It's got to be Wilson. Wilson or Gale.
Oh, why isn't Wilson on there? He's pulling
Yeah.
everything inside.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
does
yeah.
not need anyone's cast
He doesn't.
offs.
He doesn't. He
Wow.
doesn't need to be anybody's wingman.
Oh, I'm changing shot. I can't believe I forgot about
Ooh,
Wilson.
Tyndall.
He doesn't need anyone's cast offs. He's
Ooh.
beautiful.
No, I think he's up for the
Oh, right. Oh,
being the
sorry,
main
right.
man. He's like the main man.
Yes.
Wilson would be the one who gets loads of female attention, but never does anything with it because he's a good lad in a long-term relationship. Yes, Freddie. Oh, Laura. Oh, did we just get a bit of Lee Ryder from you there?
Yes, accidentally. Sorry.
No, I don't like that comment.
Is he in a long-term relationship?
Who knows?
It's quite private, isn't he?
Yeah, man. Well, apparently he's on a podcast with Mikel Antonio. Apparently that's the crack. So
I've seen Antonio was on a podcast. I didn't realise.
I've seen him talk a few times. He is an entertaining fella. So the wingman, or who's taking off the scraps? It's got to be. I reckon Dwight Gale. He's poaching around. I know he's married and all that.
Yeah,
but
we're just
hypothetically.
hypothetically.
Completely hypothetically. Obviously, I know all these. These guys mostly are married and have kids and all that. But it's just a bit of extra time fun. Don't take it too seriously because we don't. Right. So now the last one was the hanger on, right, Laura? Now we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and we're going to say it at the same time. I'm going to say
I've got two though, and I don't know which one.
No, you've got to pick. You've got to pick one.
Can I ask you a question? Is yours recent?
No. No questions. No questions. No questions.
Right, okay.
We're going to go.
Are you two naming them?
I'm going to do his first name. Just his first name.
It's not the same then.
All right.
Because I can't do his first name, and that would just sound weird.
You ready?
Right.
I'll go 3, 2, 1, and then you say it, right? Ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Jethro.
Stephen Taylor.
Oh, Stephen Taylor, of course. That's even better.
Jethro. Oh, yes, of course.
Yes,
He
Jethro.
keeps turning up.
He keeps turning up. He's playing in Germany, and he's like rocking up on some maximum,
Yeah.
Jethro, Chris had Jethro. I think somebody further up in the comments had Jethro as well. That spotted it when we started talking about it. I do think that Stephen Taylor's a good shout. A lot of people went with Andy Carroll.
Yeah.
A lot of people went, Andy Carroll likes a night out.
I went a bit further back as well. Well, a bit way further. And I think like Gazal always turn up. He turns up everywhere.
Ollie Bernard, great shout. Darryl has to be Jethro.
I didn't even think of Jethro.
Yes, because when we're talking about Almiron's clothes, Miggy copying Alan's clothes.
I
was like,
of course,
straight into my mind now. But I do think other hanger-on could be Carver, the Chava.
Oh yeah.
I think, and Jethro, I think Jethro's remembered as being way better than he actually was. We've all been bruised.
I said that on my first ever podcast with Mark and Decker, and got absolutely, when
Dog's abuse.
Yeah, when Mark goes in on Decker, Mark did that to me on like one of my first ones. I'm surprised I'm still here.
Oh, dear me. He does. He's got that in his locker though. At least he didn't get choke slammed, Laura.
No,
you know what I mean?
True. This time, yes.
He could have possibly broke you. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think he could withstand one of Mark's choke. I don't think many people could. I think that lad in the strawberry corner barely did. But yes, I'm going to go with Jethro for mine. Like, I think definitely there's a few. There's a fair amount of love for that one. So we're pretty much at the end, Laura, of the first half of our double bill of Gallowgateshots content tonight. I know we probably don't attract the same type of audience, but please stay tuned for the factual stuff that's going to come next from Chris and Decker, who are going to probably talk in depth about tactics, style of play, long sleeves or short sleeve shirt managers, and whether it's going to snow or not. Who knows? Coming in late with a great one, Solano. Love the ladies, good crack. And he weighed up every last that passed.
He'd definitely be a cast off, though. I think he'd have to hang around till Shaw didn't want them.
Yeah,
definitely.
In a totally unrelated story to that, I think Vic, our last told us about, she danced with Solano in the Cooperage, I think it was.
Wow.
Bit of Latin hips, so
Well, my story's not as good. I danced with Nile Ranger and Fluitas. It's not as good, is it?
Was that Latin or was it more?
it was more like I don't know what you call it, hip hop Save the Last Dance.
I wasn't sure where you were going to go.
I couldn't think of anything.
You're giving it that? Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so between us, we've danced with Shola, Sammy,
Yeah.
Nile Ranger.
And you look like you're about to go and dance on Strictly.
Aye. Right. Were you close enough to read his face? Well, it's
Funnily enough, I didn't believe it was him, and he went, "Look," like that, and showed us his tattoo and his lip. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh well, there we go. Right. Straight like a banana type of dancing. I think we've reached the point where we normally do an ExtraTyne, Laura, where
we need to call it a
probably
night.
time to bring things together to a nice culmination. We're at 51 minutes already.
It always takes a turn on like 50 minutes, doesn't it?
Yeah. When we get a little bit like delirious, a little bit strange. So we've boxed off that one, and we've covered the Norwich game comprehensively, and we talked about the tactics in the Burnley game, but the most important is who is the Hawkeye, who's been grassing on everybody, and it's definitely Jamal Lascelles, definitely. So Laura, obviously Burnley, I think pretty much we're on the same page with the team lineup. Would you go with Hayden or would you stick with Willock? By the way,
you've changed my mind. I'd go with Hayden.
Would you go with Hayden? Nice one. Okay. Would you stick the same formation? I would go 3-4-2-3-1. 4-2-3-1. 4-2-3. Yeah, 4-2-3-1. Yeah, definitely. And Joe Linton in this new box-to-box midfielder role, like, wow, absolutely incredible. Lots of great comments for Joe Linton recently, and I think that's it's well deserved for as bad as he has been for the last 2 years. All credit to him. He's been absolutely fantastic.
And that's okay. So. It's okay to say when he was shit, and then it's absolutely also fine to then give him credit when he's not. Like, we don't need to apologize and all that shit that was on Twitter. We can say when he's bad, but then we say brilliant. Yeah, he's been fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. He's been absolutely brilliant. As have you, Laura. You see, that's a seamless link. Wow. Right. So thank you to everybody for joining us live. And all those extra comments as well, throwing in some ideas as well. Actually, there was a guy on Twitter, I must mention, he put some really good ones on. Something to do with, it was something how. Did you see that one?
I know him. Yeah.
He had some good ones. How are the lads? He had the gossip was Freddie, maybe it's Craig Hope, Joe Linton was the workaholic, surprise party animal Miggy, shot enthusiast was Shelby. So there was some really good ones there. So Clark is the gossip, Freddie's the workaholic. This is from Kev.
I've just seen that one. Yeah,
Willock's the surprise party animal. Dollar was the shot enthusiast. Lewis Conhacker, definitely. He's definitely got some votes for that one. I'm trying to think anybody else. So I've got JS Shimmy at Shimmy Smith. I've got him saying Shelby's the shot enthusiast and totally unable to handle it. I reckon he'd be floored by about 7:30. Not the new and improved John Joe Shelby. The old John Joe Shelby would have been, but this one would be keep going until closing time. I think we've covered as many as we possibly can. Thanks again to everybody. Thanks to those people who are going to hopefully watch later on. And thanks, Laura, for joining us. It's been really good. I've really enjoyed it. I was a bit scared about it.
I was a bit, because we weren't as organised, but I think it's...
And I'd hate to be following this one, Laura. You know what I mean? I'd hate to be doing the show straight after this because, we've set the bar so high. So thanks again to everybody. Really good to see you all. And fingers crossed, prediction for Burnley, Laura, what we're going to go with?
2-0.
2-0. I'm going to go 2-1. I'm going to go 2-0. We're going to keep it clean sheet. It's happening. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining us on the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel. Please remember to like, subscribe. You can become a member and you get access to the Telegraph group. Two type of memberships. There's a $2.99 membership or there's a $4.99 membership. Helps to keep the channel going, which obviously helps us put out more content, be able to get more equipment, things like that to improve really the standard of what the service that we can offer for you guys. So really, really important that we get involved with that. And if you're in the Telegraph group, Telegram. If you're in the Telegram group, you get to listen to my voice notes, which are absolutely amazing.
Were
Laura?
were you walking when you were doing it? Because you were really like heavy breathing.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's just what I like to do when I'm on the phone. No, yes, I was walking. Dave's going to go 1-0. Davey's going to go 1-0. I would be scared, to be fair, wearing that jacket. Michael, I can get you one. I got off eBay. It's no problem. I'll find you one. So thanks to everybody, and we will see you next time. Please like, subscribe, do all that sort of stuff. Tell your neighbours, dog. Blah, 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 blah. Good night. God bless. And I think, Laura, it's about time we end it there. We're waving.